The NFT market is heating up as we close out 2022. Wolf Game is going absolutely crazy. I know Dan cannot wait to talk about that. Yuga Labs made a huge announcement yesterday with a big time CEO hire. We're finally getting some news from Doodles on Duplicator. We'll discuss all of that and more today. Before we get going, please like today's show, subscribe to the FLOLiO YouTube channel, and head to FLOLiO.com for all of your NFT portfolio management needs. Nothing we say is financial advice. Please do your own research. Dan, it's been a crazy 24 hours.
Yeah.
Wolf Game is just taking over the NFT market, NFT Twitter. You know, they're going to be all over Twitter Spaces. Give me the rundown, man, because I know that, you know, if anyone's going to give me the update on Wolf Game, it's going to be you.
Yeah, I mean, everything kind of kicked into gear when Alpha Game ended like a week ago or something. I told you quickly before the show started, but like half the supply of the token got released back to holders, and we saw a dump in the token price as expected, and immediately like a run up, and it's still sitting at like a local high. It did dump a little bit after the white paper got released, the second one. It's called a wool paper, but still. I guess it's like a pullback. It pumped like insanely hard before. It's been crazy. We've seen a lot of notable people in the NFT space buy extremely expensive assets. We've seen a lot of new wallets, a lot of people that saw the project 1 year ago, wrote it off as like a beanie rug, and then moved on. And they now see everything that the team has done behind the scenes, or like crazy innovation that they've built, and have changed their minds. It's funny because there's this guy that, or at least I assume a guy, there's this person that entered the Discord yesterday. The name is Copy, and no one knows anything about him. No one knows who it is. Has like a really random wallet with like kind of random assets. They only had one wallet with one specific sort of asset. They're from a kind of like an obscure project, so no one really knew anything about them. And they were like, "What should I buy, guys?" Of course, everyone in the Wolf Game is Discord is super friendly, and they want to help everyone. So people are just like, yeah, you know, you can, if you want to play more active, you need to buy like an animal. If you want to play more passive, you can buy like land or like a farmer. And they're like, okay. And then like a little bit later, they're like, I bought some wolves, he said in Discord, and everyone's like, okay, interesting. And then we look at the sales bots, and they're like back to back 2 sales of like an Alpha 7 Generation 0, which is like one of the highest rarity wolves, and they sold for 25 ETH each. So he randomly spent 50 ETH, and everyone was like, okay, who is this guy, right? So we check out his Etherscan, and he has like $500,000 sitting there just chilling, right? And I was like, okay, interesting. And then he proceeds to sweep literally every single collection in Wolf Game. He swept farmers, he swept land, he bought 1 million wool, which is like, I don't even know how much ETH it is. I think that's like 50 or like 75 ETH or something. And the guy just went at it. And then everyone was like, because we had like an impromptu spaces, and 200 people were watching and listening. So we were like, could you please like come on spaces to like talk? Like, we want to know more about you, right? And he was like, nah, I'm sleepy. So he was like, I'm gonna go take a nap. Everyone was like, all right. Yeah, so number 1, number 3, number 4, and number 12 volume on OpenSea last 24 hours. And it's even higher on other platforms like Blur or aggregators like Gem. And full game is dropping this week. And the wallpaper has been very exciting. So they kind of explained how much things cost, what you can do. But they also said that a lot of things aren't in the wallpaper. A lot of things are still secret. A lot of things will still be found out. And the major thing that really interests me in the game is that it's not fully on chain, which is important because you cannot make a game of this size and this like amount of innovation if it is fully on chain. I personally do not think the level of technology is there yet. So they're approaching this with like a hybrid approach. So it's part on chain, part off chain, and this allows the team to really pivot whenever is needed, and they should be able to easily implement changes. And this is something that they highlighted in their wallpaper, is they are aiming to adjust on the fly whatever is needed, they're aiming to balance everything. So they are really making this into like a risk to earn like live board game, which is a super interesting perspective to look at it from. And they also highlight how others have failed, notably like Axie, for example, and how they are aiming to do better because of reasons they listed.
Okay, interesting. I know that some of the guys behind it, some of the big holders in the project are going to be on a bunch of Twitter Spaces. I'm wondering if some of the volume is people kind of getting out in front of that, knowing that maybe the bullishness from that is going to drive even more volume to it. So I could definitely see that being the case. I know there was also a little, and we don't need to get too deep into it, but a little bit of drama between Gabriel Layden, who is become very prominent in the NFT space, especially around gaming, and he had some FUD, some criticism around Wolf Game. Seemed like he kind of went on a blocking spree, like just blocked everyone on Twitter who had a Wolf Game PFP, which is pretty immature on his part. Pretty sad, if you ask me. But what all went down there? What were his? I know part of his concerns or criticisms, I guess you could say, were with the fact that it isn't fully on chain.
Yeah.
Which I agree with you that it's better that it's not fully on chain. Like, there's just no way that's going to work out well yet. Like, we're not ready for that. So, what all went down there? What were your thoughts when you saw this happening?
Yeah. So so the community is finally kind of over it, and I'm really happy because I spent too much time in the Discord, and they've been talking about him for the last 4 days. Okay. What went down is Shepard, so the team behind Wolf Game, they released Wallpaper 1, where it kind of goes into their mindset, right? Everything that they're aiming to do, why they're doing stuff, why they're different, why they're going to succeed. And they said Wallpaper 2 is coming soon, right? And at this point, the only thing that we had to go off of was we know that there's going to be a Wallpaper 2, and we know there's going to be the full game dropping in December. He then went to Twitter and said, I thought the full game was dropping in December, but now all we got was only one wallpaper, right? So he's kind of like footing kind of strangely. Just because we got like one part of the wallpaper doesn't mean we're not getting the full game in December or the second part in December. So everyone was kind of like, we're getting the second wallpaper as well, and also full game in December. And some of the like community advocates, you can call them. In this case, it was Zombie. They're a moderator, and I think they're also actually on the team. They're like head of marketing or something in that direction. They kind of explained quite eloquently how like what's up, right? And then he replied, "Stop shilling." So he was completely did not want to talk to anyone. It was purely engagement farming, and he blocked every single Wolf Game PvP he saw on Twitter, even if they liked his post. So not even commenting. If you liked his post and you had a Wolf Game PvP, bang, you're blocked. So it is absurdly fragile ego from a founder, and he blocked so many whales of his own project because there's actually quite a bit of overlap between the DG project and Wolf Game, and there were some insane like huge whales that are also in Wolf Game, had a Wolf Game PvP that liked like a reaction to a comment of his, and he was like block. Like that's bad. Like imagine, for example, you right? Like let's say you have. How many apes do you have? You own half of some. Do you have like 2?
I own 50% of a portfolio that has 1 ape, 3 mutants, and 4 dogs in it.
Yeah. So imagine that imagine like Garga tweets something, and then someone replies to that, and you like that reply, and Garga blocks you on Twitter. Like, doesn't that make you feel like, should I be in this project? That's such a bad look for a founder. Like, it seems really fragile and childish.
Yeah, that's very immature. Not, I don't really know what else to say besides that. Like, it seems like this guy just cannot handle criticism and just wanted to put the project. So More competition. Yeah. So that's a good transition there into the big Yuga news. If we're talking about, founders and
Sure.
high level members of a business, Yuga Labs announced yesterday that they are having a new CEO come in, and it was a very big hire. Daniel Allegre, he was the former president and COO at Activision Blizzard. Before that, he spent 16 years at Google. He was the president of Global and Strategic Partnerships, president of Shopping and Payments, president of Asia Pacific and Latin America. He will be coming in early Q2, maybe late Q2. Sometime, he's got to finish out his time at Activision. He'll be taking over for Nicole Muniz, who was the former CEO of Yuga Labs. She she came in early on to take over the role and help move Yuga to where it is now. And they've kind of reached this point where, they need a higher level of leadership to take them forward. So Nicole did a hell of a job getting Yuga to where they are. And now, we have someone coming in to steer the ship who has a lot of high level experience, left a very good, I'm not sure, we don't know his compensation at Yuga. We do know he was making 18 million a year at Activision. Oof. So that's that's a lot of money. I got to get my lighting situation here. Give me 1 second. This is just awful. Back to the normal setup by the next show. Thank God. But, that's a pretty big hire. And I think it shows their commitment to really leaning into the gaming side of things with other side. We've already known that was going to be a big focus of theirs, and they're going to just keep pushing forward, bringing someone in who has connections, who is seeing the inner workings of a gaming company. I'm not deep into the gaming world. Like, there's some people who are like, Activision's the worst, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You can't deny that they've done big things. Granted, he hasn't been responsible for all of those things by any means, or maybe even any of them, but he, there's definitely experience there, experience with a brand, company as big as Google for that long. Like, this guy knows how to structure something. He knows how to move forward and take it to that next level. So I think this is overall very bullish, seeing someone of that caliber leaving a very good job to come into the world of Web3. Like, that's not just bullish for Yuga, that's bullish for the entire Web3 ecosystem, period.
It really is. And it's like, it's so good that someone like that joins the Web3 industry, especially at Yuga. I mean, it's the notable project, right? The notable company behind, well, not behind, but it's kind of like a representative of the entire industry. And then them joining Yuga, working on the other side, for example, it's such like a good skill set. Like, it matches exactly what he can offer, right? Yeah. And Yuga really needs the other side to succeed. And because if they don't, their entire ecosystem is kind of like in a very fragile spot, I think. We kind of saw this with Cool Cats and Cooltopia, except Cool Cats isn't reliable on Cooltopia as much as Yuga is reliable on the other side, I think. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what it can offer. And I'm glad to hear that Yuga's former CEO will still stay on as an advisor, so she's not entirely removed from their position, I suppose. Yeah, I also wonder how much they're earning. I know that the sentiment around Activision Blizzard is not high. It's always been negative, and at least for Yuga in this industry, the sentiment around Yuga is good, right? Like I wouldn't say that the overarching sentiment towards Yuga in the Web3 is inherently bad. So I'm really curious to see what it can offer.
Yeah, there's definitely concerns. If you hear the culture of Activision has not been great, so there's definitely concerns there. I hope that I would really hope that the founders, Gordon, Garga, whoever all interviewed this guy and talked with him and made the decision, had that discussion, know what the culture is going to look like when he comes on, because Yuga has scaled a ton this year. They went from 10 employees to over 100 now, by the end of 2022. And as we get into 2023, it'll keep going up. So I'm hoping that they kept that in mind when making this decision. I think this, we've talked about in the past, Doodles brought on a high level CEO. Some of these NFT businesses, they need to bring on, CEOs, the founders on some of them just kind of hit lightning in a bottle, right? They were in the right place at the right time, but they don't have the skill set to move the business where they need to. I'm happy that the Yuga, Gordon and Garga realized early on, they're like, hey, we're not CEOs. We're
Yeah.
storytelling guys. We like to be on the creative side of things. Let's focus on that and let's bring someone in to handle the structure of the business. And I think there are a lot of other NFT brands that could benefit from that. Gutter Cat Gang, Pixel Vault, a lot of these that were early that have seen success but have really struggled of late, and it seems like they're just lacking in that top level leadership, and they need someone to come in. As a Yuga Labs bag holder, I'm happy to see that they've made this choice and that they're taking this route. So I think overall it's very good, and I'm interested to see not only on the Activision side but his previous experience as president of global and strategic partnerships at Google, like what he can kind of bring to the table from that standpoint. Making Yuga a household name, finding partnerships on the Web2 side and these bigger brands to be a part of what they're creating, I think is a huge opportunity right there.
Yeah, and especially with the other side, right? Like we've seen different metaverses include some sort of partnership or like online digital experience, and the other side is like the perfect spot to do that in, right? Especially considering how many people one like server or location can actually host. I think it was like 40,000 without any issues or something. So that's really impressive. And
Yeah.
yeah, so how many days until the Jimmy the Monkey trial, if you know?
They said it's supposed to be happening like Christmas, so only a few more days. And we're still, I still hold my prediction that Trial of Jimmy the Monkey is going to take place in Other Side, because when they, when Yuga, when they dropped that most recent trailer a few months back, it said, the next voyage will take place in, Q4, near the end of Q4. We only have 11 days left in the year, so it has to happen soon. I think the trial is going to take place in Other Side. We have seen, a nice little increase in the floor price of Other Side since the announcement. It's up on the 24-hour about 8%. So we have seen the price appreciate. So that is a good thing. It's back up to like 1.39 ETH. You could have gotten Other Side land for like 0.8, 0.9 not too long ago. And it's already had a very strong bounce back up. So I hope we see something cool with the trial of Jimmy the Monkey that keeps that, positive momentum heading into the new year and just keeps people, keeps the market as a whole moving in a better direction. Because it seems like there has been some bullish sentiment out there. There's been some good opportunities. I've missed out on a couple of them, but for the most part, we need a little bit of positivity. We need crypto to kind of maintain a good level for a bit and allow more activity into the market if we can stay stable and not see huge drops or anything.
Yeah, and speak about positive sentiment. Someone told me that OpenSea had their 2-month high with unique wallets yesterday.
Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, so that's good.
That's a good thing. Yeah, I'm looking at some of the data right now. We've been in like the 8 to 9 million a day range on OpenSea, which, not terrible. If we look at, we're still trending down in monthly active traders, and that has been a steady decline since July. I mean, it's been a steady decline since the beginning of the year, but it's been consecutive declining months ever since July. So would really love to see that trend reverse. I think we're not going to get back into a bull market until that trend reverses, obviously. Like, we need more people involved, but that's just a byproduct of what these NFT businesses are doing. Like, if they start doing cool stuff, if they start shipping cool things like Wolf Game, like Other Side, let's talk about Doodles now. They finally announced that there's going to be the use for duplicators coming in January of 2023. If you head to their Twitter account, they put out a little video about it. It looks like it's going to allow you, I don't know if you're going to be able to create a brand new doodle, like a V2 or whatever, but you're going to be able to use your duplicator, I believe, with your doodle to choose traits for for this next type of doodle, and like more rare ones, you'll be able to duplicate those as well. So definitely seen some positive reaction there. It's good to see them communicate some things. These launched in May of last year, so that's a long time, and they've seen quite a bit of trading volume as well. So they need to deliver something on this. Like financially, people have made a lot of money on duplicators, so I think we'll hopefully see something good come from that.
Yeah, definitely. I think they also explained why all the delays, but it kind of sounds like the usual stuff, right? Like, oh,
Yeah,
are like there's
the
like
usual lip
stuff
service.
happened, Yeah, literally, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and also Artifact had another mint. I don't know if you saw.
Oh, they did? What happened now?
It's some partnership with some like NFL guy or something. I'm European. I don't know about all this American stuff, but
Okay.
apparently it's like a popular person, and they are AR helmets or some dumb stuff. And they are minting for 0.75, so almost an entire ETH. And there's like 280 or something, 268, some specific number that's probably like important. And it's only available to Clone X holders and some other like holder thing from like another project that's like, I think it's like college, like yeah, like college football or something. And this just feels like Clone X holders are being drained of their money again. Like there's no stopping this train, I think.
Yeah, I'm on the website now. The Artifact AR football helmet draw. The registration is open. Yeah, I don't know, man. These it's just one thing after another. I'm trying to
Yeah.
find the forging for the crypto kicks is complete. I want to see what the total number was
It
that
was
were
like not
minted.
high at all. I think I
Yeah, it
checked.
didn't. I don't even think it didn't even get halfway, did it?
Yeah, I don't think it did either. I think it was like, what was the maximum? Like 15,000 or something? 20,000?
19.
19,000?
19,000 was the max. If I'm looking at this correctly, they only have less than like 59.93. So less than a third of the possible supply was minted.
Yep. So yeah, something about negative sentiment, maybe.
Yeah, I'm sure like the holders will blame everyone else for it when it's really like, no, these are just overpriced and they're ugly, but to each their own.
There you go.
So interesting. Not surprising that Artifact is going to keep trying to get as much money out of their holders as possible.
Yep. It's
We'll
been the
see what
trend for the
happens with
last
the
years.
yeah. We'll see what happens with the Animus eggs as well. That's supposed to be coming in January. So interested with that. So yeah, we got that coming up. We got Doodles coming up with the duplicator. So a lot happening in the new year.
Yeah.
Could be some potential catalyst right there to get some more excitement back in the market. I hope that they can execute on that, and I hope that whatever we see with Trial of Jimmy the Monkey, that should lead into the Mecha Dogs, Mecha Apes mutant storyline. I'm hoping still, we've talked about that ad nauseum. We don't need to beat that to death, but I hope that it's another catalyst that kind of, pushes everything forward between Wolf Game, all the stuff with Yuga, Artifact, Doodles, should have more coming from Azuki. Like there's a lot of potential to see some positive movement, especially if we have bottomed out in crypto. So I'm going to stay optimistic that we could see another NFT bull run next year. It's been a slow bleed for all of 2022. If you're still here, after all of this, kudos to you. Like just stick it out. We'll get back to, I don't know about all-time highs, but we'll get back to a better place. I hope you've attached yourself to NFT businesses that are building and are creating cool stuff. So anything else you want to touch on, Dan, before we head out here?
Yeah, I just remembered. Have you heard of the hounds on OpenSea?
Yeah, I did. And I did not mint any of, I could have minted 8 of those things for 0.25, but I don't know much about. So what Dan is referring to is the Mutant Hounds. This is a project created by Mutant Cartel, a bunch of Mutant Ape Yacht Club holders who kind of did their own little their own business on the side, where you can have like membership to the Mutant Cartel. And if you were a holder of mutants, apes, or kennel dogs, you could have minted one of these collars for 0.25 ETH. They're now going for like 0.65 on. Are they 0.6 now? They've been all over the place.
Yeah, like it's like a little bit above 0.6. Yeah.
Yeah, 0.63 right now. Reveal, I believe, is tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow.
Is what they tweeted out today. So I missed out on, a 0.35 ETH profit across 8 of those. So that's fun. I don't know a ton about what exactly they're doing with these things or what the Mutant Cartel has really done. I mean, they sold out 10,000 of them at they made 2,500 ETH from the mint of this. And I didn't mint because I don't really know what the plan is. And I'm kind of at the point where I have enough invested in NFTs, especially ones that are very speculative, which, I mean, they're all speculative, but speculative to where I don't know exactly what's going on and just feels like it could be a game of hot potato. Plus, we also know that, Reveal is coming up and the price of them will drop. Like, there's going to be 25 mega hounds, and I know people are hoping to nail one of those. And when they don't, they're going to undercut the floor. So this is one that if I minted for 0.25, I would be getting out now just because your odds of hitting a mega are obviously very small. So I would have taken my profit and kind of skedaddled on out of there. But just another one that I missed out on because I wasn't willing to just blindly throw 2 ETH into a project I know nothing about.
Yeah, so I bought 3 for 0.29 on secondary. I didn't realize it's a great price, but I didn't realize I could mint for 0.25 because at the end they also included other site holders as well. I didn't know, right? So I could have minted one for 0.25. Instead, I bought like 3 for 0.29. It's not like a huge difference.
No.
I sold one at 0.52, I think. I'm still holding 2 others, and I might sell one more. I do like buying 3 though, because all the stuff that we've talked about in the past about holding some, selling some on the way up, covering your cost basis, all that kind of stuff. So I'm doing well on that project.
What's your plan with the collars? Like, you're going to hold some through Reveal? Or you're going to try to sell before Reveal?
Considering I sold one for 0.5 and the total amount that I've spent on that project is like 0.6 something, like 0.7 something. I'm confident enough in still holding 2 instead of selling one now. I looked through some of their stuff on the socials and on the website, and I liked what they were aiming to do. If I had to tell you now, I have no clue. It's too much information to remember. But yeah, I'm like, worst case scenario, their floor gets cut in half, and even if I still sell, then I still have a profit. So I'm not too bothered with selling right now.
Okay. Well, good luck on that. I hope you land one of the mega hounds. That would be pretty cool.
That would be amazing.
I'm guessing that those will sell for a pretty penny. I think that should wrap it up for today's show. We'll be back on Thursday looking at the reveal for Mutant Hounds, kind of seeing how the market plays out with Wolf Game. Should be a very interesting week leading into Christmas and then, heading into the new year. So for Dan, for the rest of the team at FLOLiO, I am Jeremy. Have a great day, everybody. We'll be back on Thursday.
Bye-bye.